Hey everyone, it's your very favorite history teacher. Let me see your transcript. Thank y'all for joining me tonight on Black Sheep in a Narcissist Family. Hey Barbara J, Evelyn, come on in. Please hit like as you come on in the room. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. I know I haven't done one of these narcissism ones in a while. So I'm still trying to set up my next Aska interview, but I thought I would go back to um, and do a continuation of the narcissism series. Okay, how's everyone doing tonight? Please come on in. Please hit the like button as you come in. Hey, McCray Kings. Thank y'all for coming. I see 14 of you in the room. 8 likes. Hit the like button. Thank you. How's everyone doing tonight? So, I know before we talked about narcissistic people, different traits, different type of people. We talked about narcissistic, you know, work co-workers and narcissistic bosses. So now we're on to narcissistic family members, and I'm still wondering if I need to do a part 2 to this. So we'll see how far we can get today, because there are different people in the family, parents, grandparents, cousins, siblings, and so sometimes that can get complex. Hey, Mad Tercities. Hey, Just Living. Hey, J. Cole, Betty. Thank y'all. Hey, Dog Cigar Mafia. Please come on in, hit the like button. So tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like 3 different things. First, I'm going to go over the traits of a narcissistic family. Then I'm going to go over the roles, and then I'm going to go over how do you cope with the narcissistic family. Hey, Jacqueline. Hey. So, hey, Michelle, and please forgive me. You see me reading my notes. I read a lot of articles, reading, watching psychologists today and writing notes and stuff. And so they want to forget anything. Okay. And I will put, later on, I'll put in the description a link to those articles. Now, that being said, also, if you happen to be in a narcissistic family and you feel like you need some help afterwards, definitely seek a psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist. What I'm saying is for educational purposes and to help you move to the next step. Um, I'm an educator. I'm not a psychologist. I just read about them and give you like the highlights. Okay. First, we need to understand. Also, my title was "It's Not You, It's Them." Being a black sheep in a narcissistic family. A lot of times, and I'll go into this when I go in more into the roles, being a black sheep in a narcissistic family does not mean you're the bad seed or the bad child. A lot of times that you're just being scapegoated. You're the one who sees that there is narcissism in the family and you don't want to be a part of it. You're calling out the narcissistic behavior, but nobody wants to deal with it. And so what ends up happening is you get labeled as, oh, they're the bad seed, the bad child, they're the scapegoat, they're the black sheep of the family. They don't follow this perfect or this image of what they want their family to be. Hey, Blogs and Fiction. Hey, Life is Late. Hey, Gail. Hi, Aisha. And so first I'm going to go over some traits of a narcissistic family. So this may fit your family. It may fit certain people in your family. Because remember, a lot of people's families, you have, multiple generations. You have grandparents, great grandparents, the parents, they have parents, children, stepchildren, half siblings, step siblings, cousins, different branches. Like for me, I have my immediate family is small, but my extended family is very big. And in the different branches of my family, certain parts of my branches, certain parts of the branch of my bigger part of my family, they're narcissists. Not all of them. And so there's a certain part of my family, it's like we're no contact because we know when we go near them, they trigger us. It's very triggering. And so it's just rather not be around them. And so but getting to the nitty gritty. So in a narcissistic family, it sometimes appear that they are perfect, like they're the ideal couple. They're Beyonce and Jay-Z. They're Ozzy and Harry. For those of you who remember Ozzy and Harry back in the day, they're Bill and Claire Huxtable, Cliff and Claire Huxtable. Um, they are, the parents from Happy Days. I don't remember that. They are picture perfect. Mom, dad, kids, everyone's successful. Everyone's just really great people. But underneath it, there are problems. Okay. Um, the parents treat their children. Um, they're very manipulative of their children. Sometimes they're living through them. Always having them in so many different activities. Wanting them to be the best. Sometimes as teachers, I've encountered narcissistic parents because it was like, I'm telling you, your child is not doing well in my class, and it's my fault. It's not your kid's fault. You did it. Your kid did everything they were supposed to do, but it's me. It's not, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, in this family, to keep up this picture perfect ideal or this picture of success, um, people are walking on eggshells. You're always being questioned about where you're going, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. Your feelings are being personal feelings are being minimized at the expense of a narcissistic person or persons. Okay. And that's if you're the parent. And if you're a child, you're anxious. You're in an emotion of anxiety because you're trying to live up to this narcissistic image that your family has put on. Okay. So a lot of times, anxious children, children with anxiety, sometimes they are perfectionists, and sometimes they turn out to be narcissistic themselves because that's what they have been conditioned to do. In a narcissistic family, you adopt the values of the family, and unfortunately, sometimes you take that with you in the rest of your life. In a narcissistic family, you understand love is conditional. You follow the family rules. You go to certain schools. You wear certain things. You have a certain uh, lifestyle. Then I'm outward pouring of affection. But when you don't, then I take that away from you. Okay. You only see the positives. Nothing that they do is negative. Hey, Daryl, drive safely. Okay. Um, and they don't see the negatives. Everything that their children is great. Their children may be liars, maybe a mass murderer, but it's really not their fault. Someone drove them to it. They may make excuses for their children. Okay. Um, Sometimes these individuals, because they see the positives all the time, they never see when you give them constructive criticism, they can't handle it or they can't take it, or it doesn't register with them. Okay. Um, like I said, the parents will orbit around their kids. Sometimes you see a hovering parent, helicopter parent. They got to come in and swoop down, or a lawnmower parent. They got to come in and make sure the kid is okay. They got to make sure they're safe. They got to make sure they have the best of everything. And if other people are not cooperating with that, it's them. It's not you or not your kid. Okay. Um, a lot of times parents also will see themselves as they see their children as the extension of themselves. If you ever look at like celebrity parents sometimes, so like celebrity child stars, and you hear about their parents, and then their parents are always like driving their success, but it was also in a way like their parents were living their lives through them. Perfect example, Lindsay Lohan. Her mother is very much a narcissist. Her mother is always, I think for a while, was her manager, and she was always on the phone. She was always calling people if they were disrespectful to her daughter, if they didn't get the certain perks or whatever. She was just like But at the same time, her daughter was like literally self-destructing before all of our eyes. And then when she went to court, her mama wasn't there. And it's like, wait a minute, I thought you cared about, but that was a negative. So narcissistic parents cannot deal with that. My daughter's grandmother turned on me because her son got knocked out. Yeah, and probably your daughter's grandmother. Uh, I guess I'm assuming that's your mother-in-law, possibly. Um, her son was probably the golden child. He was a mama's boy, baby boy. He couldn't do no wrong. Okay. Um, and like I said, and if you are a child, you grow up with anxiety. Sometimes there's trauma. There's and you have to really think about this. This is emotional abuse. Okay, emotional abuse. And sometimes, even though you might not want to say this, sometimes the emotional abuse could just be emotional abuse, but sometimes it could also be coupled with physical abuse. Because you're anxious because you're like, okay, am I gonna get chewed out today because I didn't do what I'm supposed to do, or am I gonna get chewed out and get hit? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, especially I think a lot of Generation X, at least among my friends and classmates and people that I've gone to school with, a lot more of us are talking about like, oh, we're going to therapy because we're dealing with the trauma from childhood, whether it was emotional, manipulative, narcissistic family members, toxic family members, or it was, physical, emotional, or sexual abuse. And so having a narcissistic family is a form of abuse. It's emotional abuse. Okay. All right. Thank y'all for coming on in. If I need to slow down, because sometimes I do have a tendency to talk fast, to say, hey, can you repeat that or go over that one more time? Okay. Please hit the like button as you come on in. Hey, Michelle Foster. Hey, Don Panero. Please come on in, come on in, come on in. Okay. All right. No, just my baby daddy mama, but she's a narcissist. So is he? Yeah. Sometimes narcissistic parents produce narcissistic children. And then sometimes they are, and sometimes it could be a flip. And I'm going to get to the different roles. You can have a narcissistic parent, and then you're the total opposite because you realize, like, oh, my parent was narcissistic. Okay. And so let me give you a couple of details about the different types of narcissism. Okay, so most people, as you know, mom, dad, or maybe sometimes two moms, two dads, and the children. Okay, so we're just going to deal with that aspect of it. Usually one or both, but a lot of times it's just one parent is a narcissist. This is the one you can say, think about good cop, bad cop movies. One is a good cop, one is a bad cop. The narcissistic parent is the bad cop. Okay, they're the ones who have all the rules. They're the ones who are literally, they are treating their household like a chess board or a chess game, and everybody else in the family are pawns. Okay, and they are controlling the different pieces. They are treating people based on their own emotions and what they want. So amongst their children, there is a person we call the golden child or the favorite. There's the person who's the peacemaker or they're neutral. There's the one who's codependent or who is a flying monkey. They enforce what the narcissistic parent wants them to do. And then there's the black sheep or the scapegoat. That's the one who doesn't follow the narcissistic parents' rules or sees through the BS. Okay. All right. Thank you, Master Ursus. You need to take my side. Okay. So a lot of times you have a narcissistic parent. Like I said, it could be one parent that's the narcissist, or sometimes you might have two parents that are narcissists. Remember, like I mentioned before, there's overt narcissism and covert narcissism. Okay. So, and also, like I said, And if you live in a two-parent household, the one narcissistic parent is aided by the codependent or enabler parent. That's the good cop. That's the one that makes excuses for the narcissistic parent. That's the one that apologizes for how the other one overreacted. They apologize to other family members, friends, neighbors. They're the ones who try to smooth things over with the kids. Like, oh, you need to go. Your father didn't mean to yell at you. He just overworked at work. And once you go in there and tell him the child is probably not even wrong. Go in there and tell him you're sorry. Like, why are you apologizing? The parent was wrong, but they're the codependent, they're the enabler. And sometimes it's the opposite. You have dads who are the codependent enabler because their wife is the narcissistic parent, and they come in after working and you didn't do your homework, or there was one dish in the sink and your mom got mad at you and sent you to your room because you didn't wash the dishes. And you're like, it's one dish in there. And so now dad is home and has to come and smooth things over because he's the codependent enabler parent. He's the good cop. Okay. All right. When it comes time for the children, sometimes it could be how the narcissistic parent treats them could be because one, they were raised by a narcissistic parent, or they had some things in their life that they always wanted to do, but they never got to do it. So now they get to live it through their children. And a lot of times, the oldest child is treated like a number of different ways. They're treated like the golden child of the favorite. And sometimes they're also the codependent or the enforcer. Sometimes they're AKA the flying monkey. They keep the rest of the siblings in line. Okay, this is how mom and dad wants the house clean, the porch swept, the dishes washed, getting up in the morning, not making so much noise, coming home right after school. They're the ones who have to keep everyone else in line. Okay. If they're the golden child or the favorite, the narcissistic parent or parents throw all the love and affection onto that child. That child can do no wrong. That child is in every activity, every sport, and they are the best at it. And if someone disagrees with them, they don't take that criticism. It's not true. Okay. They want their child that child can only have A's, no B's. Okay. A prime example, if you ever saw Jackson, American Dream, of the Jackson family, and Joe Jackson had them out there practicing their steps, literally practicing day and night. They got to go to school, then they got to come home and practice. And one of the sons had to go outside and get the steps right. I think it was Marlon, and had to get the steps right. He was out there by himself, almost dark, trying to get these steps right because he couldn't come back in the house. That's a perfectionist. That is extreme narcissism. And by the way, Joe Jackson was a musician himself, so he definitely was living it through his children. Okay. Like I said, child stars, their parents, a lot of them are narcissists. They make excuses for their mistakes, things like that. Like right now, another good example of this is Umar Johnson. He's a narcissist. He's crazy con man. They talked to his father, and his father was just making excuses for him. Like, yeah, you guys say he hasn't been to school, but I was at his graduation. You know, he's trying to build a school. Y'all just criticizing him. But are you making him accountable? Now when he's trying to make him accountable and say, hey, I need to go back and worry about the school and stop doing this goony goon stuff, his dad, now the narcissistic son, refuses to hear the father, who was enabling the behavior, or probably narcissistic in himself. Because he told the boy, oh, we're descendants of Frederick Douglass. He ran with this story. The family was like, we're not kin to you. We're not related. You're on a particular branch that is not a direct descendant. But he kept telling me, I'm a direct descendant. I'm a direct descendant. His father took a DNA test, and he is not a direct descendant. But he had been told and hyped up about this story, and he just ran with it. And that became part of his identity. Okay. The next child in the family is the peacemaker or the neutral family member. Sometimes this is a middle child. Because there's usually an older and a younger. And they try to keep the peace between the siblings, but also amongst the relationship with the parents. They know that mom or dad is narcissist. They know the other parent is a codependent, but they understand that, hey, I have to go along with the program if I don't want the narcissistic parent getting their wrath or getting their punishment. Okay. Yes, they want A's, so I make sure I have A's. Okay. If mom or dad or the narcissistic parent, the siblings are fighting or arguing, I'm the one who listens to both sides. And then I go to my siblings and I listen to them. I'm like, yeah, you're right, you're right. And then I'm like, but mom, you know how she is. So don't take it personal. That's one thing. Don't take it personal. You know. Um, and but like I said, they don't want to take sides. They don't want nobody mad with them as well. Because remember, love is conditional. So if I can't have mom's love or dad's love, I definitely don't want their wrath. So I'm gonna be neutral. I'm gonna be the peacemaker. That's okay, J. Cole. I understand. Let me see. My baby daddy got. Oh wait, wait. Oh, the narcissistic mama got mad because he didn't want to go to the school. Oh wow. Yeah, because they want you to go to certain schools. They want you to go to certain places. This is part of that picture perfect idea of what they want. Okay. Then you have what's called the codependent flying monkey, also the family bully, or like I also you can go with them as the enforcer. I was the oldest, and I was the peace. Yeah, see, you wasn't the favorite child, but you were the peacemaker. You're the peacemaker. Hmm. So you can be peacemakers can mean a different order of the family. Um, Codependents are called flying monkeys. Hey Mary Furge, hey Christine. They make excuses for the narcissistic parent, and they may apologize for their behavior because they're codependent because they want to make sure they do everything mom and dad want them to do. Sometimes I've seen some students, I kind of wonder if they had a codependent relationship with their narcissistic parent because it was like, I have to have an A. It's trying to get extra credit. My mom does not accept B's, or my dad does not accept B's. And I'm just like, it's 89. It's an 88. It's 89. I must have an A. My mother's going to kill me. And they're over there crying, having a meltdown. And I'm just thinking like, Lord have mercy. This poor child is in tears if they bring a B home. And I'm just like, narcissistic parent. Also, sometimes they serve as the enforcer of their parents' narcissistic parents. They don't want the narcissistic parents' wrath, so they're gonna help the narcissistic parent keep you in line. So if the black sheep is doing some black sheep stuff, they're gonna make sure to criticize the black sheep for their behavior because they know that's what their parent wants to hear. If the golden child is being a golden child, and their mother is or father is reaping a lot of rewards onto them, then the codependent flying monkey is going to do the same thing. Okay, they're gonna do the same thing. Okay. Lastly, we have, last but not least, in my particular position, is the black sheep, or what's called the scapegoat. This person, the narcissistic parent views them as problematic, while they view the golden child as doing no wrong. The black sheep or the scapegoat does everything wrong. It's always their fault. They are the problems that are persisting in the family because they are not following the family dynamic. They have not adopted the family values. They don't care about getting A's. They're perfectly fine with a B or even a C. They don't. They want to not wear or dress alike with the rest of the family. They know that the narcissistic parent is narcissistic. They know that the other parent is the codependent behavior. They know the golden child can do no wrong. Okay. They know the peacemaker is always going to come over here and say, hey, can you get along with mom or dad? I know you're right, but never take the black sheep or the scapegoat side. Okay. And the codependent flying monkey is always going to repeat what the narcissistic parent says to do. And so, but a lot of times, the person who's the black sheep in this black sheep or a scapegoat in a narcissistic family, they're the person who wants to make the narcissistic parent and also everyone else accountable for the behavior. They want to stop the manipulation. They want to stop the emotional abuse. They are willing to call out the parent behavior. They want to deal with the issue. Um, Unfortunately, sometimes, like I said, they're labeled the bad child, the bad seed, they're disowned, or sometimes the bad child, the black sheep, the scapegoat, just chooses not to come around the family. They weren't really disowned, they're just no contact to their own family. So, but the family has to keep up an image. So, what do you tell people who ask about their child? Oh, well, you know how they are. We disowned him. He's he's unstable or she's unstable. She's an alcoholic. She has issues. You know, they're disrespectful to their parent. Something to make the rest of everyone look good. The scapegoat has to be the bad one. Okay. Um, like I said, they're not fitting into a picture perfect version of the family and they're very distant. Okay. Some parents don't know that they're being used. Like for example, the golden child could just be like, hey, I'm doing everything mom and dad told me to do. I'm fine. Or maybe you're codependent, you don't see you're being used, you're just like, hey, I'm just, you know. And the thing is, you have to understand, I know you don't want to think this about your parents, but a narcissistic parent is a user. They're fulfilling whatever they want in life. That is the seen many times that it is other family members who put other family members put the labels on you. Oh, you're the bad child. You're ungrateful. You're this, you're that. No, I'm the black sheep because y'all called me black sheep. No, I just don't want to deal with your BS. That's what it is. And then, unfortunately, a lot of times, what some people will say is, even when your family is emotionally, verbally, or physically abusive to you, and later on you're an adult and you don't go around, other people in the family are like, well, I know how they are, but your family is your family. You should still be respectful. You should go see them. Should I? If I know that they're emotionally, verbally, and physically abusive, and now I'm an adult and I don't have to live in a house with this person, I'm not dependent on this person for my livelihood. I'm gonna say this. Someone's gonna be upset. You don't have to. You don't have to. This is what I'm gonna go with next about coping strategies of dealing with the narcissistic family. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's it. Just don't show up sometimes. It's called no contact. What did you say? My learned early dad was off, and she don't play with him at all. She her mother's child. Yeah, it's really that sad. It's just your parents are supposed to be the ones who have a positive, um, supposed to raise you, positive environment, learn positive values. But if the parent is narcissistic or has their own trauma from their own childhood that they're still carrying over, now it's affecting you. There are reasons why some mothers, even though we say it's not right, keep their kids away from the dad because they realize, oh, you are off. She's gonna have to grow up and then get to know you. Or sometimes even the dad, because there are some dads who are single dads, and the mom is off. And you got to keep your kid away from the mom because, like, oh, she's crazy. Then sometimes it's just they both kind of like hate each other. They want to, keep, being mean. But sometimes it's because, like, hey, I was with this person, and then sometimes, and I guess I'll do that next time. We'll talk about narcissistic, romantic, or love relationships. Some of us pick narcissistic partners. Some of us have narcissistic friends. That's for another live for that, because that's getting into, because that's dealing with people you. Because the thing about this, co-workers, bosses, those are people you have to go to work with because it's your job. Someone higher up in the company hired you to be a part of this company. So you kind of like don't really have a really big choice. You have a small choice in where you work. And your family, you really got no choice. These are the people you were born into. Okay. But friends and people you fall in love with, those are choices. And we'll talk about that one next time. But today we're just going to concentrate on the family. Okay. Yeah. It's learned behavior from generations. And it's hard because we need to unlearn it. Hurt people hurt people. Yeah, take them if they're so great. Oh, your mother's like that. She was like the girl. She had a hard life, but blood is blood. Blood is thicker than water. Really? Mm. Yeah, hurt people hurt people. Yes. Yeah, remember I said before about, gray rock, switching around on what they're saying, no contact, the restraining order if necessary. Yeah. Okay. Block them on all social media. You know, do what you have to do. Okay. All right. So you're probably thinking now, okay, you tell me the narcissistic family, you tell me the different traits. And I want to say this. Growing up, I thought I was a black sheep. Okay, I was kept trying to figure out why was my mother always unhappy with me? And this is the thing. I was an AB student. I didn't really get in trouble in school. I think I had one fight in middle school. This girl was just picking on me, and I just stopped taking it one day and fought her ass back. Um, didn't get in trouble in high school. And just was your average kid in, elementary, whatever. But I seen him that my mother was she was always upset with me. I didn't do something fast enough. I didn't do it the best. I didn't always understand her sarcasm, and I kept telling her, why am I always in trouble? And I didn't realize until later on was like, oh, something's wrong with my parent. It ain't me, it's her. But unfortunately, I had internalized a lot of this behavior that even now that I'm still dealing with as an adult. I'm going to therapy now and I take, I told people I'm suffering from major depression disorder. And I'm still having to get my 42-year-old self out of a 12-year-old's frame of mind that your parent was a narcissist. You are not the cause of all their problems. They had their own issues, you know? Yeah, narcissists always seek out people that can use in the family. And if it's their children or their spouse, yeah, blood love from a distance, avoid the toxicity. Sometimes you get to pull. Yes, and this is about a coping strategy. You got to limit your time with them. You have to put them on boundaries because if not, it's about your mental health. My child don't hate him, but don't deal with him. She's 10 years old no more. That's what you got to do. And the thing is, if he wants to deal with her in his life, he needs to change his behavior. But if he's a narcissist, is he going to see that is he a problem? That's, I have a friend of mine. She just reconnected with her dad in her 30s. They have a good relationship now, but he missed 25, 20, 20, almost 30 years. You know? All right. I don't know what friend is buzzing me right now, but I'm live. Okay. I called once a month to check on mother. Sometimes you gotta do that. Okay. What are the McCray Kings? Yes, you have to heal the child within. 12-year-old me is dealing with a lot of issues. Narcissistic parent. But I think also I'm starting to grapple with now that maybe I have two narcissistic parents. I just happen to live with one, my mother, and my other one was across town, married and had my half sisters. But interacting with him, I realize now, like, dude, I was being manipulated by him too. You know? Okay. What did you say, McCray Kings? Has a problem with me being gay, but her best friend is gay. I'm sorry, McCray Kings. I'm all the way confused. Oh, she being gay, but her best friend. Okay. I, I'm sorry. I keep getting. Okay. Y'all, please keep Roxanne's husband, in your prayers, and please keep Tanika Shanette in your prayers as well. Yeah. Wait. Okay, McCray King. Let me ask a question: Is her best friend a woman or a man? Yeah, his mom is Kojic, Manchurch disease. Okay. You know what? That's true. That is so true. It's like convenient memory loss. My best friend was saying the same thing when she talks to her mother, because her mother is a narcissistic too. But if I were to tell her that, she wouldn't understand. She wouldn't believe it. She says she talks to her mother about things they did in childhood, and her mother doesn't remember it. She said, "Oh no, that never happened." And I'm like, but her and her sister remember it like it was yesterday. And her dad and her grandfather used to be the one that used to call the mother out on her behavior, like that never happened. Stop talking, stop lying, stop saying that. So it's very hard, convenient memory loss. I even asked my aunt. My aunt is 82 years old, and sometimes I realize now, unfortunately, she was a little bit narcissistic to me, too. But I feel like she's my own mother. Now she has dementia. She really does have memory loss. But sometimes I still wonder, do you still, because there's a one point in time was she was still being manipulative, and I guess because she was having memory loss, she wasn't as sharp as she was with the manipulation, and so we were catching it. So sometimes I still want to know, okay, are you really got the dementia? Are you really trying to not answer my question? 'Cause I even asked her a question today, and she totally changed the subject. She was like, can I go take a nap now? I'm like, why is this 82-year-old woman asking me to go take a nap? And I asked her the most serious question in my life. Because I thought, like, okay, I'm 42, she's 82, she'll answer this. No, don't remember it. Because narcissists cannot handle criticism. They only want to deal with positives. Only want to deal with positives. Okay. Okay, what did you say? She's still in the denial stage. Yeah, Denise. Yeah. Yeah. You were right. Life is late. You surely was right. He's a man. I know he was the one who convinced her to at least show up for my wish. She said she doesn't care what he does because he's not her son. Oh, that is a major double standard. Like your son, but is it because she wants grandchildren? Well, she has other grandchildren here. I'm trying to figure. I guess I can't. And this is the thing. And I'm sorry. Hope I'm not. What's the word I'm doing? Taking too much of your issues on. This is what I had to do with narcissistic people. And this is why I said before my previous live, it's not you, it's them. You're not crazy. You may be called the black sheep, but you got the most sense. Because you see that this is crazy behavior. This is not what average day-to-day people do. And so sometimes when you look at their behavior, you're like, that don't make no sense. But they're narcissistic. It makes absolutely all the sense to them. Just to everybody else, it doesn't. That's the thing. It's just, yeah. Like, she can remember every bad thing. Everything. My mother used to do that too. Like we would be now you just remind me of something to tell my therapist when I talk to her next week. I would just say it was I think it was like middle school or whatever. And I remember one time vividly going into the kitchen of my aunt's house. I think I just went in there to get a sandwich. My mother started complaining about stuff that I had been doing that she thought was wrong. And I kept thinking I was a horrible person. And I'm just like, but I don't do drugs. I didn't have any children out of wedlock. I didn't talk bad. I made good grades, but it was just like this stuff that she was just finding to be upset about. Yeah. Okay. She has about 20 grandchildren. My one or two wouldn't have made a difference. Yeah. So I think is it to be that? It's like, hmm yeah. I'm sorry that happened with Craig Kings. Yeah, yeah, black sheeps and people who are going to therapy who are not wanting to deal people tired of being a peacemaker, tired of being a codependent. They recognize the dysfunction. They want to stop being dysfunctional. I think so too. Yeah, she's thinking about what she goes to church and what they're going to say. But the thing is, her relationship with you should actually be more important. What does the Bible say? Parents, do not provoke your children to anger unless you inherit. What's the rest of that mad church disease? Am I getting it wrong? What's the rest of it? And that's also another part of the narcissism. I realized that part of my mother was dealing also with um, a mental illness. There's no cure for narcissism personality disorder. Uh, but she was also dealing with some other issues. Like she was also dealing with a mental illness as well. And so this was it was just making the narcissism to the extreme that, oh, my child is doing all these bad things. Or, oh, you didn't do this right. It's because you don't love me. And I heard that too. Oh, you're doing this, you don't love me. You're with them. You're with the enemy. And it's just like, whew, yeah. And for my friend, her mother was a different sort of narcissist, and that she wanted this image of the family. And so my friend was in all these little different things. And when my friend didn't do that, it was just like, it was like she would be shady. I guess you say throw shade. She'd be shady sometimes. Like she didn't join the same sorority as her mother. She didn't get married to a certain guy and have the children that she wanted. She didn't do all these things because she wanted to live through her child, you know? And so, like I said before, you know, a lot of her children don't even they always say, you have a son. Well, then we need to find you a new mama. Marcellus, can he be your brother now? Your mother want another son? What does it say? It'll say, I will bring it back to your remembrance. I'll bring it out every time my daughter's father runs. I think it said, parents do not provoke their children to anger, or unless you inherit a house of wind or wind into your house. Like basically, if you provoke them to anger, you'll basically be alone, right? Yeah. You were supposed to go to church and get Jesus. I even had a family member tell me, oh, you have all these things. And I said, I think our families are dysfunctional. I just want to be, you know, to admit it and get help. And they were like, well, I'll just turn it over to the blood of Jesus and that'll work. And I just kept thinking, like, that didn't work for me. Lord made these good doctors and these good medicine for a reason. Hey, prime example, Kanye West. He got Jesus. But what he did on Sunday in South Carolina shows he needs Jesus. He needs some good medication and a good doctor and a good support system. Yeah, there's no cure for narcissism. Therapy, so they can get the tools to understand, like, hey, not to be a narcissistic person manipulative to those around them. They have to continually work on it. Continually work on it. Okay. Oh, thank you, Christine. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Jesus, therapy, and meds as needed as prescribed. Yes. Oh, she can't. So I guess McCray Kings can't use your mama neither. Okay. Well, she did too. Did everybody mama have a gay friend? Is everybody having the same childhood? Whose mama is nice? They may have to become other people's mamas or something. Well, McCray Kings, I can't be your mother, but I definitely want to be your friend or like a sister to you. So, and I would tell everyone that you're my brother or my friend. So, I don't know. I don't know. Your mother is missing out on a very great relationship with you. It's going to be her loss. So, what did you say? Life is way. Baby daddy and grandma don't provoke the baby mama to anger. She goes, okay, life is way. Okay, life is way. Life is way. Okay, so let's get on to. Ooh, we're almost 50 minutes. Okay, so let's get to the coping strategies. Then now, yes, Christine said too. McCray Kings. Oh, me too. Me too. Mm. Like I argue with Daryl. Wow, that's really sad. That's really sad, Mary. First, you're right. Narciss- Yeah, they have no empathy, and they have to learn how to be more empathetic in therapy and strategies. You know, so okay, so let's go to some coping strategies. I read different articles and saw different psychological videos, and so some of it may overlap, but I put it into four, at least four. I count it into four different ways. Um, because the thing is, for some of us, we're before the COVID, we had to interact with our family either at church, family reunions, holidays, birthdays, funerals, the birth of a new child. Now, because of COVID, it might be the family Zoom, uh group chat, group messenger, maybe a newsletter, maybe a big text message. I don't know. Phone. Um, and so now, and once COVID, we continue this for COVID for a while, but sooner or later, we're gonna have to go back to our traditional way of interacting with these people. And so these are just some strategies you can do now and later. Um, don't call the narcissistic family member a narcissist. They won't care, and they might take offense to that, and then they're gonna want to do another thing which you shouldn't do. Argue with them. So this for number one. These are the two don'ts. Don't argue with them. Don't call them a narcissist. Because you need to save your breath and save your energy. It's like talking to a brick wall. Mad Narcissist. Don't you do that. Don't do that. We like the McCray Kings. Don't do that to them. Mm-mm. Father, do not provoke us into wrath, but bring them up in the fear and admiration of the Lord. Thank you, uh, Life was like, that's the I was getting my Bible. I've been to church. I just got my and I read the Bible, but I don't study like I didn't know the correct one. Thank you, Life is like a strawberry rhubarb pie. Hmm, interesting. Rhubarb pie. Okay. So the first thing, save your energy, save your mouth. Don't call them a narcissist. Don't argue with them because you're going to be the one that's upset and unhappy, maybe crying on the verge of tears, tired, and they just gonna walk away like it was just a regular day. Because remember, they don't like any criticism, you know. So call them a narcissist, like either one, they're gonna like, yeah, I'm not a narcissist, and and then they're gonna say how they're not a narcissist, but they really are, and so it's just like talking to a brick wall. Uh, yeah, we gotta tell you about the pride friend offline. Bad, trying to see you so bad. Okay. The second thing you gotta do is the two L's, the two limits. Limit your contact with them and limit boundaries with them. When you talk to them, you have to say, look, you can come over for, holiday, or I can come over to your house, or we can go out somewhere. But if you start complaining about my hair, my clothes, my weight, what my house look like, what my car is wrong with, then I'm going to leave. And the thing about that, you have to follow through with that, because guess what a narcissist is going to do? They are going to test your boundaries, and you have to follow through on that. They are going to push your boundaries. They're going to make they're going to try to say something about your clothes, your weight, your house, your car. Okay? Now there's one strategy you can do, which is kind of like the gray rocks. You kind of like rock them back to how you want them to act. You say something like, I want to see you, I want to hang out with you, but your behavior when you say these things hurts my feelings. And so I know you're going to hurt my feelings and say these things, but I'm just letting you know that when you say those things, I'm going to leave. And so when you tell them that, what you're going to do if they act like a certain way, what a narcissist will do is then psychologically do the opposite. So if you say, oh, if you tell me anything bad about what I'm wearing or my hair or my car or what I work for, I'm going to leave, because I know you're going to do that. But I don't like that behavior. They're going to try their best not to do those things. So they can look like, hey, I'm a great person. I said nice things to you. I complimented you. I treated you so well. That's what they want. Okay. 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 The third thing, after you've done, let's say you do the two, don't call, don't argue, limit your contact with them, or limit your boundaries with them. And let's say you've done that. You follow through. You left when they said something crazy. Or maybe that one time they actually was nice when you did, the reverse psychology method. But now it's about your mental health. You have your own children, your own husband, your own family, your own wife to think about. And you can't deal with this narcissistic, toxic family member if you want to be happy. So you have to cut them off entirely, cold turkey. Not on Facebook, not on social media. Block them on everything. Phone, text, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Twitter, everything. And if they try to use the peacemaker and like call you on the phone, like do a three-way thing, saying, I'm sorry, their behavior, I can't deal with it anymore, goodbye, hang up. Then you need to tell the peacemaker, don't ever do that again. I'm going to cut you off too. And the thing about the peacemaker is the peacemaker doesn't want no contact with you. They will do what you ask them to do. Okay. The last thing you should probably also get a good support system and consult a therapist. Because if you've dealt with this narcissistic person your whole life, you have a lot to unpack, so that one, you're not narcissistic like them. And that also you understand, hey, love is not conditional, you know? So that you can have a better, happier life. So you're not revisiting stuff from like with me, I had to stop doing it, revisiting things from my childhood, or thinking like, oh, I'm the problem, they're not the problem. And so also with the no contact, it might be hard to do cold turkey, like, okay, I'm just cutting them off. I'm not coming to the next. That's why some people don't come to the next family reunion. They don't come to the next, you don't see them until it's a funeral. Or sometimes you might not even see them at the funeral. Or you don't see them until it's their funeral. you know, because it's that bad, you know. Yeah, Denise, that's why you shouldn't argue with them or call them a narcissist. You're more worked up than them. Yeah, that's what narcissists hate, being ignored, because they want to be the center of attention. They want everything their way. Hey, RV Weekends. Even Jesus did that. He called them vipers, dead men's bone, a whole bunch of names. Uh, okay, what did you say? J. Cole. How far will a narcissist person go? Does it depend on the person? Sometimes it does depend on the person, because some people's narcissism, I guess you could say there's degrees of narcissism. Like I said, there are regular narcissists. All it has to be about you, about them. Then there are others who are like covert narcissists. They kind of like sneak the narcissism in, and it's not until like an afterthought you're thinking like, wait a minute, they just got me to do what they wanted me to do. You know? So, but my thing is, you really have to examine how the narcissistic person, if you think the person's narcissistic, and how they make you feel being with them and after you're with them. Are you having a good time with them? Are they complimenting you, or are they getting you to compliment them? Are they getting you to do everything they want you to do? Are they having you apologize for things you ain't even do? You're like, why am I apologizing to you? You know? So yeah, it also depends. It also is like, do you want the behavior to stop? And like I said, don't argue with them. Don't come on to say, hey, what you said really hurt my feelings. And so if you keep saying that, I'm gonna leave, or I'm not gonna go to another event with you, because I'm expecting you to act that way. Okay. But also you might have to be careful also, because sometimes, like I said, family members has the flying monkey codependent enforcer to enforce the behavior that the narcissistic parent, or it could be a narcissistic sibling, wants you to do. So they may become the flying monkey. Have you ever seen The Wizard of Oz, and the Wicked Witch has the flying monkeys and she sends them out to do her bidding? The narcissistic person can then use the flying monkey family member to get the other people in the family to think bad things about you. You got to think about that too. Yeah. So that means you might not only, like I said, let's say you have an event and you invite everybody but the narcissist. You said the narcissist, you said, I'm not letting you come to my house because you were very rude to me last time. Or if you come this time and you said something rude, I'm going to ask you to leave. But to the next event, you don't even invite them. But then, the peacemakers there trying to get you to, well, go ahead and invite them and let them come this one time. No, they don't get to come. But maybe now the narcissist is now having her or his own party at the house and not inviting you, which, you know what, you should be perfectly fine with that, because you don't want to be with the narcissist. The thing is, you got to be careful, because they may be trying to turn other people against you, and you're like, well, if you feel that way about my behavior, then I just won't come around anymore. And that's really hard to do, especially when they convince others to uh, that you're the bad. Like I said, you're the bad sheep. You're the scapegoat. You know, because sometimes you can't. Yeah. Um, but then, like I said, in the end, you might be the one who has to like initiate no contact for your own self-care. And if that is not enough, then that's why I definitely say get a support system, get a group of friends who can listen to you, and also seek a therapist to help you deal with that situation. Because I'm just giving you some strategies, coping strategies to deal with. I'm not giving you all the coping strategies. You know what I'm saying, J. Cole? Okay. Yeah, you got to ease them out. Life is like, yeah, they never take responsibility. It's always your fault. Like, I tried to apologize, but you wouldn't accept my apology. This wasn't a real apology. You're gonna keep doing it again. Yeah. Thank you, Denise Monroe. Yeah, they're great at making you look crazy. That's what I want you guys to understand. In a narcissistic family, if you're feeling like I'm crazy, everyone says I'm the baddie, I'm doing something wrong. No, it's not. It's not you. It's them. It's not you. It's them. You're seeing the different roles everyone has, and you're calling out the behavior, and you want people to be responsible about it, and no one wants to deal with it. You know? Barbara Warren, when you say you're finished. Oh, I don't do family use funeral birthdays or anniversaries. Want to be happy? You have to do that. And if someone in the family realizes, like, okay, Barbara J is not here, and they really miss you, and they really want to be a part of your life, then they're willing to make the necessary changes to be with you. You know, are they going to respect your boundaries? Like, oh, Barbara J doesn't do family functions, but she said I can call her on the phone and talk to her, or I can invite her to my house. We can have one-on-one, but she's not coming to no family functions. You're very welcome, J. Cole. I hope I was able to help in some way. Covert narcissist. Yeah, over and there's one called a grand narcissist. Did I go with the grand narcissist? Grandiose narcissist? Because those are the ones who like they want all the attention. Some bosses are like that. They're very grandiose. They're always dropping names and stuff. You know. Yeah, definitely right. Covert, overt, and grandiose. I had to stay away from my family for 5 years. I was sick of her behavior. I had a friend that I stayed away from for several months, weeks, because of her behavior. I had another friend who did the same thing. She did no contact uh, with the friend, but then also with us. And then when she decided to interact with us again, that other friend got left out, and we had to like figure out like, okay, what do we do? So we had to respect her boundaries. When we did one with the friend that she didn't like, she wasn't going to come around. Or we did something one on one with her, that was fine. You know, get the respect. They're better now, but back then, oh, that was like, ooh, that was a very precarious situation. hmm and then I also get to do this, understand this too. And I talk about this with when we talk about covert friendships, and romantic relationships. Sometimes your friends don't have to be friends with each other. You know, it might be the best. That might be for the best. Mm-hmm. Fire, yeah. You're very welcome, J. Cole. Very right to narcissist, respond versus reacting until you can go. Yes, exactly. Gray rock them, like trying to get them to do the behavior you want them to do. Okay. Don't call them a narcissist. Don't argue with them. Limit your contact. And if that doesn't work, no contact at all. That's exactly what, exactly. Yeah. Some of them do just apologize and so they can do something else. And sometimes after that, it's like, you going, well, I said I was sorry. You always say you're sorry. Can you say something else? I talk about relationships and guys I've dated, they're like, I told you that what you do was hurting my feelings. And you said you were sorry, but you keep doing it. So now I gotta stop talking to you and block you. And then they are like a narcissist and they do this thing like every 2 months, couple months, they want to text you, hey, how you doing? No time no see. Always around the holiday. Want to see what you're doing. I want you to get back into those feelings. But we'll talk about that next time. So yeah, long enough to do something else. What did Joe Clark say, Lima? Well, Joe said, and then me pass us out, and that's all I'm gonna say. You're right, bad Sar's disease. You're right. It's like a song that Chrissy Ann Porter said, Chrissy Show. She said, be blocked and be blessed. Wanna be blessed, gotta block you. What is a malignant narcissist? Where did you hear that? A malignant narcissist? Where did you hear that? You can accept the apology, but you don't have to have them around anymore and for them to continue the behavior. And the thing is, this is what I was I think I heard this on the McCray Kings, and I think it was either Joseph or Tramiel, and they made a good point. And I think I read it somewhere else too. You don't have to accept their apology. You don't have to accept their apology. You don't. I know there's going to say, "Oh, that's not very Christian of you," or forgive them for their, you don't have to accept their apology. Who's narcissistic? Mine. Oh, Lo siento. I have to pray for you. Or for everyone takes their side. So JM, are both mom and dad? I'm assuming mom and dad. Both mom and dad are pastors, or is it like pastor and first lady? Or is one the narcissistic parent, or the other one is the codependent one who enables the behavior? Sure. Yeah, love them. Right, Jacqueline? Love them from a distance, from over there. Love them from over there. Because put the crazy on me. Yes. And the thing is, to you, that friend might not be a narcissist. To you might be inadvertently a codependent enabler, but your other friends like, something's wrong with that one. They might see it, and it's like that's why they're clashing. Because one is a narcissist trying to get their way with that one friend, and the other friend is like, I know you're a narcissist. I'm not gonna let you get away with it, and they don't want to let the other one get away with it, and that's why you end up having arguments. But yeah. Mm, be blocked and be blessed. Oh, pastor and first lady. Okay. Of the golden rule. Yeah. Be careful because they might want to try to twist it on you. Oh, pastor and first lady. Oh. So do they do this at home too when they're not in church? Because unfortunately, a lot of times leaders, whether they're religious or civil leaders or even celebrities, They have narcissism. Yeah, that's why in their families they play this chess game because um they're getting fed by family members. That's why there's different roles. So like, yeah, I got the narcissist parent has my golden child, but when I let's say the golden child is not there right now, so it's like, okay, who else can I feed on right now? Or oh, the black sheep is giving me problems because he or she knows I'm a narcissist, so I'm gonna go sick the flying monkey codependent one on them. They're playing a game. The same thing with work. The narcissist is always looking for if there's a high turnover in at a job, is because there's a narcissist there who is making the work environment very hard, and people are choosing to quit. And the narcissist coworker or boss constantly picks on a new person, or they pick on the oldest one there, who's been there the longest, who knows that they're on their bullshit. So, that's a good question. Or is their narcissistic behavior a byproduct of them being a sociopath or a psychopath? Hmm, that's a good question. Hey, Tanika, how you doing? I did get your message earlier, but I had just started my live. Yes, they're busy living a lie. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do y'all have, like I said, Barbara J, be blocked and be blessed. Remember, you don't choose your relatives. You do choose your friends. Same. And you don't have to go along with the narcissistic behavior. And unfortunately, there may be a narcissistic parent, a narcissistic sibling, cousin, brother or sister. And be careful. You may not think no one, like, if you come to the conclusion like, there's nobody narcissist in my family. You really need to think about that. If there's not a narcissist in your family, you need to examine, am I the narcissist in the family? Do other family members not want to be around me? Have some not shown up because of me? It's the same. Hey, TikTok Studio LG, I'm talking about narcissistic family members. Hey, Ava Collier. hmm That's right. You can't always choose your family. My aunt was a cleaner narcissist. Wow. And unfortunately, that happens. It's like because that person is no longer around pulling the strings. And she probably had all the uncles was like one of them was probably the golden. Well, she probably thought she was a golden child. Sometimes a golden child is a narcissist too. Probably one of the uncles was a peacemaker. One was a flying monkey. One was a scapegoat, maybe, or they might have been all whatever. She was pulling everybody's strings. Mhm. It was I was watching. I think it was Snap. Was it Snap or When Women Kill on the Oxygen Channel? And this lady died. No, I think the mom got arrested or something like that. And they realized how narcissistic their mother was. She had different credit cards. She was buying stuff, but then she was hiding it. Um, all the kids, I think, had to like live a very frugal life, but she was like buying all this crap, all this stuff. And then and they kept thinking like something was wrong. Why is mom acting this way? Why is she doing this way? And they found out that this lady was like had all these different credit cards, different names, I think even some of their names, and messed up their credit because she didn't, she didn't care. And totally manipulative to their father because like she was in charge of the finances. And it was just wow, yeah. Hmm. Hey, Ebony Woods. Um, Life is Light. Who is it? Who's the user? Is it Dr. Rama? Because I follow. There's Dr. Rama. There's the Narc Survivor I follow, and then there's also Psych Perspective. She was one of 9. She was very smart. They skipped her up for third grade when she was in the fourth. Mm, mm. Maybe she was too. She was really smart. Carmen Bai. Yeah, go ahead. Put her link in there. Okay. Does anyone have a Carmen Bryant? Oh, I think I heard of her too. Yeah, Carmen Bryant. She's good. Does anyone else have any other questions about um the traits of a narcissistic family, the specific roles or the coping strategies? For those of you who just came in, what I was explaining, and I know you saw my title, it's not you, it's them. Black sheep in a narcissistic family. A lot of times the black sheep is the scapegoat of the family. The narcissistic family is trying to portray a very picture perfect image of a family, and there's a lot of emotional abuse and manipulation going on. But the black sheep or the scapegoat sees through the BS and wants to hold everyone accountable. They don't want to go along with this picture perfect issue. And so a lot of times a narcissistic parent, or it could be a narcissistic sibling, makes them uh they're the problem. And they're really not the problem. It's just that person does not want to follow with this false image. There's a golden child, there's a peacemaker, there's a codependent flying monkey, enabler, and there's the black sheep. You said something about the spouse. What about the spouse? Okay, because the spouse could be this. One of the parents is a narcissist, and the spouse, other one is a codependent enabler. Think about, like I said, good cop, bad cop. Okay, the narcissistic parent is call me Carmen. Help me a lot. She's on Facebook too. Oh, okay. Did you put the link in the? Can you put the link in the chat? And then what the the codependent enabler spouse, the good cop will do every time a narcissistic parent does something crazy, manipulative, outrageous, they're apologizing to everyone. Oh, I'm sorry. He or she is really stressed at work. The kids made her mad, upset. They're apologizing to other family members, extended family, neighbors. Maybe they're apologizing to one of the kids who's not the golden child. Like, oh, your dad or your mom had a bad day at work. Just go ahead and say you're sorry. They didn't mean it. They're trying to smooth everything over. But they're also, in a way, helping the narcissistic parent still be manipulative. Because guess what? They want the love and affection. They don't want their wrath either. And sometimes narcissistic parents, narcissistic individuals. Oh, thank you, Hope. I appreciate it so much. I'll check in a minute yeah. Thank you so much, Hope. Um, Because Matt Disease keeps commenting about my life. Well, you need a better life than that. Okay. I'm trying. And yeah, the enabler is helping the narcissistic parent be a narcissist, making excuses for them. And in narcissistic people, a lot of times they look for empathetic individuals to marry or other codependent enablers because they need someone to be in their orbit. Sometimes narcissistic people do get together, but remember, it's because of there's something mutually they both need in the situation. That's why. Okay. Um, did you say okay, what do you mean by if the sister is a narcissist? If the sister's a narcissist? Well, I think maybe you came in late. Um, when you have siblings, there's 4 types of children or siblings. There's the golden child or the favorite. There's the peacemaker who's neutral, doesn't take sides, but wants everyone to get along. There's the codependent flying monkey. They enforce what the narcissistic parent wants them to do. And then there's the black sheep, aka the scapegoat. This person gets blamed for everything. But a lot of times they're the ones who are seeing through the BS. They just don't want to go along with everything. The peacemaker also sees through the BS as well. They know that hey, one is a narcissistic parent or both are narcissistic parents, but I want to keep the peace. I don't want that wrath. So I'm just gonna do what they want me to do. And then if there's an issue with one of the other siblings, what they will do is they will try to like either smooth it over with the parent or smooth it over with the sibling to say, hey, mom, I know she's a problem, but just do what she says to. She really doesn't mean it, or he doesn't really mean it. He had a bad day at work. But at the same time, they're not going to speak up with mom or dad, mom and narcissist, dad and mom is in the middle of their blow up. They're not gonna speak up then. Remember, they're a peacemaker. No. Um, J. Cole, they could. They're good at if they are good at pushing on your butt. That's why a lot of times don't argue with them. Don't call them a narcissist. You have to do the gray rock, redirect. You know, you have to redirect them. Uh, I don't know what else to. I don't know if you can give me more in depth example of what do you mean by that. I mean, are they like commenting on your hair, clothes, choice, you're married, and your career in your house all at the same time? I can see why you could, yeah, they especially if there are new, like I said, peacemaker neutral people, they don't want to get involved. The golden child was the favorite, so they don't want that, with that person. The codependent flying monkey may join in. Mm, yeah, they might, and the thing is, they may make you look crazy. There are probably some who are thinking like the other person is a narcissist, but they don't want to get involved because then they're going to be the subject of it too. They could entice, yeah. That's why you have to do no contact eventually with them. Like, okay, I'm not inviting you to any family functions, and if you're there, I'm not going to be there. Mm-hmm. Okay. Did I explain everything, Dog Cigar? Did I try to explain everything, J. Cole? Okay. Any other questions y'all have? I'm going to list in the description of the video. I'm going to list in the description. I'm going to list. I'm going to put the links to these websites, and I'm going to put the you said Carmen Bryant, right? Life is Life. I'm going to put Carmen Bryant's in the links as well, so y'all can go there for some more information. Okay, that's fine. If you're not comfortable in going into more detail, that's fine. But I would strongly suggest if you haven't talked to someone about it, like a therapist or like a friend who's a really good listener, who's very empathetic about the situation. Okay. Any more questions, y'all? Facebook Stand Up Survivor. Okay. You want to see that? This is Carmen Bryant. She's another psychologist who deals with narcissism. Well, before we leave, I just want you guys to understand again, it's not you, it's them. Okay? It's not you, it's them. Okay? If you have any other questions about anything that I covered today, or you need me to help you find some more resources, please email me. Here's my email address. Here's my email address. Okay. Thank you so much, Hope. We really do appreciate it. We appreciate all of your support. Thank you guys, because I know all of us have been able to get some more technological upgrades. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Okay. Yes, life is like we'll get into that. If I don't have an interview for next Tuesday, I am definitely going to get into this. It's called hoovering. When we talk about relationships, either with friends or romantic relationships, and you try to end it with the narcissist, they'll do things called hoovering. It's called love hoovering, and you're trying to do no contact, and here they come. Either they'll put something in your mailbox, or they'll contact a family member that likes you, or they'll send you a text or a message on social media. So we'll definitely get into that next time. Okay. Also, if there are some individuals you would like for me to interview, so I know I've been doing a lot of people who are in the social justice arena or who is in the LGBTQIA plus community. If you have any other ideas, please email me and or leave it in the comments like, hey, I think this would be a wonderful person for you to interview or to talk to, or we can learn some more information. Because I definitely wanted my channel to help you be a much more informed and better person after you leave, you know. Um, so please share this video on all social medias, like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have a friend who's probably going through this, because I actually texted my friend today. I said, hey, I'm doing a live over narcissistic family members today. So to let them know. So definitely share it with them. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you so much for all of your help. Please like, share, subscribe. Tomorrow night, meet me over at the Cigar Vloggers channel, Daryl Moore or Daryl Isn't Free Speech, at 8 p.m. Eastern. which is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. He's still continuing his series. I think it's A Woman Scorned. I think he's on episode, was it episode 4 now or episode 5? Okay. So, and Mad Church Sees is going Thursday. And then on Friday, it's Hot Topics with the A Team at 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be on my channel this week. Okay. And we are going to talk about everything. I know legit Tarkin likes it when I do that. So, also, if you haven't already, wait, what? Daryl Moore? You're not going on at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow? You're putting a 4 in the chat. Huh? Thank you, Jacqueline. I hope it was my pleasure. Oh, it's gonna be episode 4. Sorry, he's telling me. So tomorrow, episode 4, Woman Scorned, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Grab your favorite drink, grab your favorite popcorn. 8 p.m. Eastern for Mad Churches East Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern back here on Friday. Hot Topics with the A Team. You know we're gonna talk about everything. It's been so much stuff going on. Umar Johnson, Kanye West having a meltdown, Tamar Braxton going to the hospital. What else? Nicki Minaj is pregnant. The Barbs are too excited. Dave Chappelle went to go visit Kanye, which was a really great thing to do. He needs a friend. He needs someone to help him because that man, whew, if you didn't get a chance to check out that my live from last night, it was just an impromptu one. Let's see. What'd you say? Thank you, Mary Church. I really appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna look it up too, and I'm gonna put it in the link. Thank you so much, License Lay, for your information and your insight in this resource. Thank you so much. Central Time is 5 p.m. No, 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 no. He meant, hold on. 8 p.m. Eastern is 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. That's what he meant. Yeah. Like I live in Central Time Zone. So when it's 8 on the East Coast, it's 7 here. Yeah. The thing about every time we come on all this week, it's been always 8 p.m. Eastern. We give us the official because then everyone can figure out what their other time zone that they live in. Okay. Thank you all so much. Y'all have a good evening. All right. See y'all tomorrow over there on Daryl Moore or Daryl Lives Free Speech at 8 p.m. Eastern. Grab a drink. Bye.